Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting very soon. My name is Nina Agustin Rodriguez from our Times Square Clinic, the Center for the Performing Arts. I will be your host today. I'm going to give everyone a little bit more time to join us. Until then, enjoy the music, and I'll be back in a moment. Again, good afternoon. My name is Nina Agustin Rodriguez, physical therapist and clinical director at our Spear Times Square Clinic, the Center for the Performing Arts. Welcome back to those of you who have attended one of our previous webinars, and welcome to those who are joining us for the first time. Thank you all for choosing to spend the next hour or so with us. We know that there are many bigger things going on right now, and we appreciate you taking the time to learn with us today. For those of you who do not know who we are, Spear is a private physical therapy and occupational therapy practice that has been around for over 20 years. And we currently have over 20 locations located all over the New York City metro area. We have continued to offer in-person care, and we are strategically going above and beyond the CDC guidelines to ensure the safety and well-being of everyone within our clinics. For more information on the safety measures that we are taking, please visit our website at spearcenter.com/safety. We are also offering Spear Live for those who are looking to stay in and receive care from the comfort of their home. This gives you the opportunity to receive physical or occupational therapy treatment through our telehealth platform from any device. You can get more details about it at spearcenter.com/live. We are here for you in whichever way makes you feel most comfortable. If you are looking for individualized care to help relieve or prevent pain, rehab after surgery, or reach peak performance, please reach out to any of us individually or at spearcenter.com at your convenience, and we'll get you set up for an appointment right away. We created today's talk specifically for you and are coming to you live from our home and from our clinics. We do not anticipate any technical issues today, but please be patient with us as we navigate working through this new technology. As part of our session, we will be demonstrating some exercises, and we really look forward to you following along and participating. This will not be like your typical Zoom meeting. We're going to have some fun and get your bodies moving. Please note that if you're experiencing any pain while performing any of the exercises that we demonstrate for you today, please stop and reach out to us directly so that we can support you. Throughout the webinar, we want to hear from you. If you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A feature. So if everyone right now can just hover at the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A option. That is where you will put questions, and we will do our best to address as many questions as we can. We will not be using any of the other features to answer the questions. The chat feature, for example, is a great way for you to engage with each other, but we will most likely not be able to answer any of the questions that are asked there. Also, please make sure that you are in gallery view so that you can see the exercises as well as the speaker at the same time. For those of you who are watching through YouTube Live, we are monitoring the comment section there as well. So please feel free to type in any questions that you might have. Our goals for today are to understand the benefits of yoga, review poses to help decrease pain and relieve stress, and then at the end of it, we're going to put it all together for a yoga flow. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our team of panelists today. We are going to welcome, let's see who will come up first. Anna Holloway, physical therapist at our East 84th Street location. Hello, Anna.
Hi, everybody.
We've got Emma Codman, physical therapist at our Union Square office. Hello, Emma.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we've got Nicole Sirach, like the hot sauce, who is a physical therapist and clinical director at our Brooklyn Heights office. And she will be helping us with answering any questions that you might have. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
All right, so Nicole and I are going to say goodbye for now. Anna and Emma are going to take it away. Hope you are all ready to flow.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's just get right into it here, and we're going to talk about the benefits of yoga. So yoga is a practice that incorporates many different body systems, offering a holistic approach to exercise and therapy. Yoga enhances muscular strength and flexibility while also reducing stress, anxiety, chronic pain, and improving one's overall quality of life. There have also been studies that show yoga helps to facilitate motor learning, to increase body awareness, and to decrease pain.
Thanks, Anna. It's clear that yoga can be so helpful for wellness in many different ways, and one specific way is using the breath to help calm down the nervous system. So breathing in yoga is called pranayama, and there are a couple of different types of pranayama breathing, all geared toward mindfully slowing your breath down. So our nervous system has two components: sympathetic nervous system, which is our more fight or flight stress response, and the parasympathetic portion, which is rest and digest. And during a sympathetic nervous system response, breath comes short and quickly. So yoga breathing is geared at performing slow and intentional breaths to help initiate more of that parasympathetic nervous system response and to help calm everything down. I'm going to throw it back to Anna now, who will start leading us through some poses.
All right, thank you, Emma.
Yeah.
So as Emma just said, we're going to talk about a few key poses in yoga now that can help to really decrease some pain and relieve some stress. So I'm going to talk these poses through first, and then Emma is going to be the one demonstrating. So you can feel free to follow along with us here if you want to practice some of the poses before we put it all together at the end for a flow. So Emma, if you want to set your camera up for us to get into position here, and if others at home want to grab like a yoga mat or a blanket to set on the floor if they want to practice, feel free to do that.
All right, how do I look?
Good, looks good.
All right,
okay.
ready.
All right, so first up is going to be child's pose. So for this pose, you're going to start on all fours and then extend your arms forward as you spread your knees apart and lower your hips down towards your heels. Perfect, just like Emma is doing right there. So child's pose stretches out the low back and shoulders while also opening up the hips. This pose promotes relaxation and is therefore a great one to continually come back to throughout your yoga flow if you feel like you just need a break or kind of to reset your body a little bit. Okay, Emma, so go ahead and come back up into a tabletop position for me. Beautiful. So the next pose that we're gonna walk through is cat cow or cat camel pose. And for this pose, you're again gonna start on all fours, just like Emma is there. I want to make sure everybody aligns their knees underneath their hips and their hands underneath your shoulders. So what you're first going to do is take a deep breath in and arc your back and open up your chest and neck towards the sky. That looks good, Emma. And then you're going to go ahead and exhale and kind of round your back and bring your neck down. Perfect. So this is a great pose to help improve posture and balance by strengthening the core, shoulders, arms, and neck, while also stretching muscles surrounding the spine.
This feels great. My back is stiff.
Good. You need to do more of these, I guess.
I think so.
All right. Are you ready for the next one here?
Yep.
Okay. So our next one is going to be downward dog. So with this, you can either begin on all fours like Emma is there, or you can start in a plank position. But either way, what you're going to do is push through your palms and lift your hips up in the air while then straightening your legs. Perfect. Once you're in this position, you're free to kind of play around a little bit. If you want to bend one knee, keep the other straight, just like Emma's doing there, just until you feel kind of comfortable. This pose helps to lengthen and decompress the spine while also kind of strengthening your arms and your legs. Perfect. How's that feeling over there,
Anna?
Your hamstrings?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is a perfect pose for that then.
No.
But I'm going to have you come out of that pose right now for us, please. And the next pose we're going to do is Warrior 2. So for this one, I'm going to have you stand all the way up. Yeah, you might have to readjust.
Let me know if you can't see me.
That looks good. You should be good there. Okay, so like I said, the next pose is going to be Warrior 2. So this is now a standing pose. And so Emma's going to go towards the front of her mat and then take a nice big step backwards as if she were going to do a reverse lunge. Perfect. And then that back foot, the toes are actually going to open up just like she is there to allow your hips to really open up here. And then one arm can be straight out in alignment with your front leg, and the other arm will be straight behind you. Perfect. So with this pose, it's really important here to make sure your legs, arms, and core are all engaged the entire time. Warrior 2 is a great pose for strengthening the arms, legs, and core while also improving one's balance. Beautiful. Okay. Awesome job modeling for us, Emma. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to turn it over to you, and I will set myself up here to demonstrate a few more.
Perfect. Yeah, I really felt my legs working with that one. It was good.
Good.
All right. So I will let Anna get all set up, and then we'll head on into side angle pose. And I'll let you know if I can't see you, but so far so good.
Okay, for this.
So I'll have you find that Warrior 2 pose that we were just in to start. Beautiful. Her front toe is front. Her back toe is pointed sideways. And then from here, keep your front leg bent and tick-tock your arms sideways like a clock into a side bend. Your bottom arm can rest on your leg or on the floor, depending on your flexibility. That looks great. Nice one. Your trunk should be straight. And the other arm can be reaching kind of over your head. You look good. So this pose is awesome to help strengthen your core, relieve low back pain, as well as menstrual pain and constipation. And who doesn't want that? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So the next one we're going to do is a floor pose. We're going to come into happy baby. So if you need to do a little adjustment over there.
1 second here.
And I'll have you lay down on your back. That looks pretty good.
Good here?
Yeah, great. So for happy baby, I'll have you bend your knees up into your chest and grab onto the insides of your ankles. And you know what, Anna? You might have to tip the computer screen just so that they can see your hands, and then come back into it. And to modify for everyone at home, you can definitely grab onto your shins or even your knees, just in terms of how much flexibility you have. And feel free to rock your body from side to side in this pose if it feels good.
It feels great.
Nice. And this pose is awesome to help improve your hip mobility and stretch your pelvic floor. So the last pose is my favorite one, and Anna, you can stay down on the floor. So we're gonna come into Savasana or corpse pose. And this is where we will finish our yoga flow. So lay down on your back and bring your arms and legs out straight. Great. And this is an awesome place to just get back in touch with your slow, deep breaths to end your practice. We'll actually be practicing a little pranayama breathing here in just a moment during our flow. So get excited for that. And this pose is awesome for total body relaxation, releasing stress, tension, and improving fatigue, as well as improving insomnia and concentration. How do you feel?
Very relaxed.
Good. All right, Anna, I'll bring it back over to you for yoga flow.
Give me 1 second here.
Sure.
All right. So those were all the yoga poses we kind of wanted to walk through today. And now what we're going to do, like Emma said, is put them all together for a flow. So Emma is going to be the one demonstrating these poses. So if you need a visual, look at her screen. And then I am just going to be narrating everybody through these poses here. Okay, so at this point, if you have a blanket, a towel, a yoga mat, whatever it is, go ahead and lie that on the ground. And then bring your phone, computer, whatever you're tuning in on, go ahead and bring that to the ground as well. And just kind of get set up. I'll give everybody a minute here to do that. Are you ready, Emma?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to have everybody go ahead and start on your hands and knees, and we're going to make our way into child's pose. So this is that first pose that Emma had demonstrated for us. So what you're going to do is just sink your hips down into your heels, just like Emma is doing, and stretch your arms out overhead. I want everyone to take a few deep breaths here, just nice and easy, in and out, as you let your body and mind completely relax before we begin flowing into more positions. Good. And as you feel you're ready to come out of this pose, come back up onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. Here we're going to take just a few rounds of that cat and cow pose. So begin by taking a deep breath in and arcing your spine to open up your chest to the front of the room. And then slowly exhale everything as you round your back out. So take a few more breaths here on your own, going in between that cat and cow pose. And let your body kind of play around with it. If there's one position that feels better than the other, kind of stay there and just breathe in and out. And I'll give everybody just a minute here to kind of play around with it. Good. So as soon as you're ready, you're going to press your hips up into the air and make your way into a downward dog position. As you come up into this position, I want you to feel the stretch in the back of your legs, and you can feel free to pedal out here, just like Emma's doing there, bending one knee, straightening the other. Again, just take a few deep breaths here, making sure to keep your thighs and arms completely engaged as you push your hips further back into the air. Awesome. So from this position, you're going to lift your right leg up into the air and then bring your knee towards your nose and step all the way through to come up into that warrior two position. So remember to have your back foot perpendicular with your front foot here and open your arms up all the way. Again, take a few deep breaths here and focus on the energy running through your toes to your fingertips, keeping everything nice and strong and engaged. Good. So we'll take a few more breaths here in this position. Beautiful. And then while you're in this position here, you're going to keep the front knee bent and just flip your palms up so that they're facing the ceiling. And then you're going to cartwheel your arms overhead while allowing that front arm to rest on the thigh. Really think about rooting down through your feet and reaching that top arm overhead to feel the stretch in your side body. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring that front arm down to the ground inside your ankle there. Good. And we'll take just a couple breaths here, trying to stay nice and steady. Great job. And so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So everybody can just come up into a standing position. And you're going to bend your other leg now, so your left leg. Perfect. And the back foot again turns outwards. Both arms are shooting straight forward and backwards, keeping everything nice and engaged here. Let's just go ahead and take a few breaths in this position. And while you keep that front leg bent, I want you to flip your palms up towards the ceiling. And again, cartwheel your hands overhead, allowing that front arm to rest on the knee. And that top arm comes up over your body so that you get that nice side body stretch. We're going to go ahead and take a few breaths here. Remember, if at any point you want to, you are more than welcome to go back into child's pose if you feel like you need a little bit of a rest or to just reset your body. Good, great job. Now everybody can come up into a standing position, take a sip of water if you need it, but when you're ready, we're all going to come down to our mats. We're going to come down for the happy baby pose. So go ahead and lie on your back. And then you're going to bring your feet up in the air, bringing your knees towards your chest. And go ahead and grab your ankles, your shins, your knees, whatever feels good for you today. And feel the stretch in your low body here. So I'm going to have everybody take a few breaths. You can kind of play around with it, see what feels good. And if you want to, you can rock back and forth, side to side. Awesome. Okay. So now let's slowly lower everything to the ground and allow yourself just to take some nice big deep breaths here in and out. You should feel your belly rise up and down, and your chest should be staying relatively flat. So in this position here, we're going to try a few of those pranayama breaths that Emma had mentioned in the beginning. So I'm going to walk you through a couple rounds of this. So begin by breathing into your belly, letting it rise as high as you can. And when you feel your belly is full, I want you to take just one more inhale to draw your breath deeper and fill your rib cage. Now you'll slowly exhale, starting with your upper chest, then your rib cage, and then your belly. So I know that was kind of a lot of steps here, so I'm going to walk everybody through that again. So begin by breathing into your belly, letting it rise as high as you can. And when you feel your belly is full, take one more deep breath in to draw it deeper into your rib cage. And then slowly exhale, starting first with the upper chest, then into your rib cage, And lastly, your belly. Good. So our last and final pose here is Shavasana. So we're going to take a couple minutes here to completely relax your body and your mind. Starting from your jaw, make sure nothing is clenched, your teeth are not clenched. Let your shoulders, your hips, and your knees and your ankles melt all the way into the mat. And I am going to be quiet here for a couple minutes while I let everybody just take a few more breaths in this Savasana pose. Good. So everybody can slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, kind of waking up your body a little bit. And then safely make your way back up into a seated position here. Awesome. Good job, everybody. So that completes our little yoga flow here. Emma, you looked great.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel very relaxed. That was great. Thank you, Anna.
Good. So thank you everybody for joining us on this webinar. We really hope you were able to learn some great poses that can help you stretch, strengthen, and relax your body. We all know we could use some of that right now for sure. So what we're going to do now is have some time for some Q&A.
Thank you both for sharing your knowledge and getting all of us moving this afternoon. Let's start to cool down while we answer some questions. So when would you say is the best time to do yoga?
I can answer that one, Emma. So the best part about yoga is I would say there really is no best time. Any time is a great time. It's kind of just dependent on you, your schedule, your body, and what works best for you.
How long would you say that we need to stay in each of the poses?
I'll take that one. It depends again on how you're feeling, but a good rule is like 10 to 20 deep breaths. And again, if anything's feeling too much, feel free to come out of it and take a more restorative child's pose. But I think 10 to 20 breaths is usually a good amount of time.
Now, how often should we all be practicing yoga?
That's another great question. I might be biased because I love yoga, but I think it is great for people to do at least 1 to 2 yoga flows a week just to kind of stay in tune with your body, get some of the strength and flexibility aspect with it, as well as the mind-body connection.
So one of our participants has asked, yoga breathing usually makes me more out of breath than my usual breathing does, and it stresses this participant out. What could they potentially be doing wrong?
So that's interesting you say that, because the yoga breathing is actually strengthening your breathing muscles. So it makes sense that it would make you a bit tired, but it seems like it would be a good idea for you to modify the breathing, perhaps doing shorter breaths. So how we were breathing all the way into our stomach, perhaps breathe halfway into the stomach and halfway into the chest, just to modify it, because breathing is kind of a muscle strength exercise, especially the yoga way. So you can just treat it as kind of like a weaker muscle in your body and slowly build up to doing longer breaths.
That's great. Yeah, it's definitely something that we should all keep in mind. A lot of the other questions that we have coming up have to do with different modifications. So ladies, if you wouldn't mind just getting ready to potentially move again. So one of our participants has asked, what are some ways to adapt our downward dog if you have arthritis and pain in your wrists?
So for the wrist, there's a couple things that you can do. Let me set myself up. You can always take it down on your elbows. I believe this is called a dolphin pose, and modify it this way. And then you can always bend your knees as well. But you can also do either cat cow pose during that portion or take a child's pose.
Great modifications. Thank you, Emma. Now, another participant has asked, they have bad knees, so how would they modify child's pose, which you just demonstrated for us, as well as warrior pose?
Yeah, I can try and show that here a little bit. Let me just move my camera down. Okay, so for child's pose, sometimes what is a good thing is if you have, I don't have one with me, but if you have a yoga block or even just a stack of books, and you can kind of put it behind your rear end there so that you have something to kind of sit on so your knees aren't bending as far, if that makes sense.
Anna, I can grab some yoga blocks in the clinic right now to demonstrate it if you want to go on to the next one.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I'll be right back, guys.
Thank you, Emma.
That worked out. Good. And then, I'm sorry, what was the second part of that, Nina?
Oh, I think that we were talking about child's pose and warrior pose as well for bad knees.
Oh, yeah. And so same kind of concept goes for warrior pose too. If it's the bend in that front knee that is bothering you, there is no issues with kind of coming out of that and eventually just working your way farther and farther. That's the great part about yoga is there really is no right way or one way to do things.
All right, I got the yoga blocks.
Perfect. Thank you, Emma. Can you show us then the child's pose so that we can offload the knees a little bit?
Definitely. So I'm going to put the yoga blocks right underneath my butt here, and you can put them this way. So this is kind of like the shorter way or the taller way, either way. And then you're just going to take child's pose, but you'll be able to support your bum on the blocks to take pressure off the knees.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So yeah, just like Emma and Anna have said, you can use yoga blocks. You can use a stack of books if you have that instead of yoga blocks. So great.
Definitely a towel, even thick blanket.
Yeah, so anything that you can stack or you can essentially sit on. Perfect. Thank you, ladies. For the happy baby pose, does the tailbone need to be grounded? It looks like one of our participants, their tailbone comes up as they reach for their feet. Should they grab their ankles instead to bring their tailbone down? What do you guys think?
It kind of depends on what you're trying to stretch. It sounds like your hips might be tight. So I think definitely taking a modification and grabbing your ankles or your knees would be good, just so that your low back can lay flat and you don't strain your low back.
Perfect. Thank you, Emma. The same participant has asked, where do I engage to avoid overarching or overextending my low back during cat and cow?
So with all of these yoga poses, obviously we really do want to be engaging the core. So a nice little cue is just kind of thinking about tucking your belly button in towards your spine with each pose. But as far as the cat and cow pose goes, there's really, again, nothing is too much or too far. I think wherever your body feels good is where you should go.
Yeah, it should always be within a pain-free range. So if you're noticing that if you arch your back more and drop your belly button down toward the floor more, you're getting a little pain there, that means you've gone too far.
Okay, good to know. We're going to go back to breathing for a little bit. One of our participants has asked, when you breathe, should you breathe in through your nose, in through your mouth, or both? Like, what kind of cadence should we be doing when we're inhaling and exhaling?
That's a good question.
Sorry, go ahead, Emma.
Take it.
You can take it.
Okay, cool. That's a good question. And there are just so many types of yoga breathing. So it just depends on what you're trying to kind of accomplish. I think while you're doing the flow, whatever type of breathing is comfortable for you is good. Either in through your nose, out through your nose, in through your nose, out through your mouth is awesome. And then depending on what your yoga class is calling for with a specific breathing technique, I think paying attention to that will be good.
Perfect. Just a few more questions. Is it still safe to do yoga even with an injury?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to like specifically answer that question just because all injuries can be very different. So if you do feel like you have an injury, again, the biggest thing would to be let pain be your guide. But then I would definitely also suggest coming in to see one of us, a physical therapist, just to assess your body and see if there's any modifications that you should be doing.
Perfect. And then are there any certain poses that we should do for low back pain or that we shouldn't do when we have low back pain? A lot of our patients right now have been coming in with complaints of low back pain. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll take this one. All the poses that we did today should feel really good for low back pain. But again, as Anna said, really let pain be your guide and listen to your body. And if things just don't feel right, it's always a good idea to get assessed by a physical therapist just to have more specific modifications for your body.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies, so much. All that information was really helpful. I don't think that there are any other questions that we have coming. So we hope that today's talk was valuable and that all of our participants learned some different ways to balance out your own workout routines at home. If we didn't get to your question, we will do our best to reach out to you directly afterward. We will also be sending out a handout of the exercises for you to reference, as well as the link with the recording of today's webinar. So Anna and Emma's contact information will be coming up on screen. Please take a moment to write it down and reach out to them directly with any specific, more personal questions about your individual needs. Again, Anna is located at our East 84th Street office, and Emma is located at our Union Square clinic. And then on the next slide, it is both my information as well as Nicole's information. So again, you guys can reach out to either of us if you have any questions or need any help setting up a physical therapy appointment. As an orthopedic outpatient physical and occupational therapy practice, we treat an array of conditions from head to toe. We help prevent and treat pain, recover from injuries and surgeries, and much more. Appointments and treatments are covered by insurance, and we are in network with virtually all major insurances. Should you feel that you could benefit from some individualized guidance and treatment, please reach out to any one of us individually, and we will personally coordinate you being set up with an evaluation. We have 20 clinics throughout the New York City area that are open, and we also have virtual online telehealth appointments, so we can make it convenient for you. Thank you all so much for spending this afternoon with us. We hope that you enjoyed our webinar. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine.